Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to JAHAN-E, your own channel. JAHAN-E's latest initiative is Leader Speaks. And we are here with its 6th episode, The Leader Speaks. And today, we have a great leader who have served this grand nation as a civil servant, who has proved that he is a true patriot, who has served the country to the fullest of his abilities, who is an educator, an author, a philosopher, a writer, a speaker, and many more. So ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Dr. Khwaja Mohammed Shahid. Good evening, sir. How are you?
Thank you very much. And it's my pleasure to be with you on this forum. And I always look forward to talk to you and through you to your audience and to your group.
First of all, thank you very much for sparing your valuable time, because we can see during this month of Ramadan, everybody is so busy, and due to some hot and cold climate, weather, drinking cold water and sharbat, it is affecting our health. That is quite obvious. We can see.
So I must take this opportunity to all our listeners and all our viewers, a very, very holy and happy Ramadan. We are coming to end of this holy month and looking forward to a very sweet Eid. I wish everyone here a very happy Eid in anticipation.
Thank you very much, sir. So before we go into the detail of your leadership role, first of all, we would like to know about your background, your family, your education, and your start of your career.
You see, I belong to city of Aligarh, which is famous because of its educational institution called Aligarh Muslim University. I was born and brought up in that city. And therefore, my entire education, starting from class 1 to post-graduation, was from Aligarh Muslim University. I joined its primary school, which was very close to my house. And its native name was Chaman School. Chaman means a garden.
Yes.
Of course. Then I did my master's and my law degree from AMU. And then I start preparing for myself for civil service examination and appeared in 1975 IAS, etc. examination. Could not make it. Then I again appeared in 1976. At that point of time, it was called IAS, etc. examination. Now it is called civil service examination. And then I made it on the basis of 1976 examination and joined Central Government, Central Secretariat Service, and serve in different ministries, including Ministry of Home Affairs, Ministry of Education, UPSC, Ministry of Industry, and so on and so forth. But now, when I look back, I think my strongest posting was in Jamia Millia, Islamia, where I served as Registrar of the university. And of course, subsequently, after my retirement, I served as Vice Chancellor, Maulana Azad National Urdu University at Hyderabad, and of course, for some time as officiating Vice Chancellor before I handed over charge to a new Vice Chancellor. So my great period of my career was in the discipline of education, and I learned a lot from those postings. But of course, every posting was important, including my UPSC. And as we call ourselves, and as they call us, we expertise in different areas and we expertise in different fields. So you may call us master of none, jack of all, or jack of all, or
so I must say that master of all. You know, Dr. Shahid, even talking to you and communicating with you is a great honor for all of us. We all look up to be like you. You are such a person that in 76 you qualified for UPSC. That's really a dream come true for millions of people. This is not an easy task. So before I go further into your achievements and your contributions to this great nation, I just wanted to ask a simple question: that what was your inspiration to take up UPSC exam?
Quite right. It's a very important question. You see, to be very honest, I, at my earlier stage of my academic career, say at high school level, or even at post-graduation level or graduation level, did not know A, B, C, D of the civil service examination. And that was the tragedy and I believe it's still a tragedy. A large number of persons belonging to marginalized groups, or backward groups, or the minority groups. We do not know about this examination. Same was the story with me. But then some senior alumni of the university who was in government service at that point of time, who was holding senior position, they visited us and they inform us about the service. They inform us how you can serve the country, how you can serve at the policy planning level or at different levels while joining the government service. And of course, it's a good career. So this became a turning point in my life. And I thank to all those who visited to the university and motivated us to join this service. I can name few of them, but the topmost name which comes to my mind at the moment, immediately come to my mind, I owe it to him a lot, Mr. Sayyid Hamid, who was then an IAS officer and additional secretary in Government of India, and later on served as the Vice Chancellor of Aligarh Muslim University. So it was him and his team who motivated us, and many of me like us, many of more like us, me and others from AMU, other institutions, to join and prepare for civil service examination. As you rightly said, lakhs and lakhs apply for it, and only few lucky selected hard work persons finally join it. So I am among those lucky persons, and thanks to these great gentlemen who motivated us, inform us. So I still feel the need that youngsters should be told about this examination. In this today's world of corporatization and lot of attraction for the private sector, the talent perhaps is not moving towards the government service. It is needed. We may talk in detail on this subject, but there is a need for people to inform about it and motivate to join this service and serve the country and serve the community.
Thank you very much. And that is the reason why, although I myself didn't qualify UPSC, but I have great fascination towards that. And that's why whenever I find any civil servant, I always feel that the story of that person should be into the limelight so that the youngster can be motivated and they'll get inspiration.
Right.
And this episode is one attempt towards that. So that the listeners, the youngsters who are watching this program.
I would like to add, there are many bureaucrats who have written their autobiographies, and their success stories are known in print media and otherwise also. A youngster should read them and understand how they have served. There are many more in abroad also, in our country also. So unfortunately, because of the digital media, our reading habits are reduced or are being reduced. So more and more youngsters should read these bureaucrats' life and their autobiography.
Very true. Thank you so much, sir. And as far as Sayyid Hamid Sahab is concerned, of course, he was a man of action. And I was also fortunate to work under him, and lots of great things I have learned from him. Yes, he was a great leader in true sense, and a great like motivational and a true, I can say, pathfinder. And he has shown us a right path, how to move ahead in our life. So now coming to my next question, the next question is that we all have our own leadership styles, but somewhere we imitate someone, like we take someone as role model, as a leader. So who is that gentleman, or who is that person whom you think that he is your role model as a leader?
You see, I cannot pinpoint a single person, but I can definitely pinpoint a style of functioning of gentlemen and people I have worked with. And it's a collection of many different styles which I have imbibed in my functioning. And this, of course, many people have affected in the sense of not adverse sense, in a positive sense, in developing my role model. So this role model is a combination of different styles, not a one single person. And it's most of us in our life, the role model can be my father, my mother, my teacher, my sister, like that. All is a combination of all of those. Same is my case. Now I know I can pinpoint 1, 2, 3, 4 persons, but I will tell, instead of mentioning them name, I'll tell the style. The most important style which I learned is the collective leadership. The collective leadership is one of the most important styles I learned from my bosses, from my colleagues, from my subordinates. You learn from your subordinates also, and from your colleagues also. Unless you don't have a collective leadership, this is what I have learned. Collective leadership, including entire team, starting from the boss to your colleagues, to your subordinates, to your clientele, to your persons whom dealing with. You can learn from each one of them have the thought process, analyze them, and then see whatever good for the organization, for the community, or for the cause which you are developing, you are caring for. Whatever good for that cause, you must take a decision accordingly. The cause is very important, and it is called management for a cause, management for an objective. So these are few things which I have learned: executive leadership, management by objective, and carrying people with you. Carrying people with you
Very
is
true.
very, very important. And because you have to, your decision cannot be in vacuum. You have to implement decision, and you have to execute decision. And you have to carry people who are implementing decision. You have to carry people who have to go along with you. So there should not be any what should I say, friction in the machinery of implementation or execution. So if I say these styles have immensely helped me in my functioning over a period of time. There can be many more things you can add. There can many more things you can add, and there are many more experiences I can add. But the few things, which topmost thing which come to my mind is this collective leadership, carrying people with you, and management by objective or management for a cause.
That's really great to know, this collective leadership, and then having empathy, and then serving the people, caring for them. Naturally, like these are some of the qualities that without them, we cannot imagine any influencer or any effective leadership. Thank you very much, Khwaja
Each
Sahab.
one of them can be further elaborated
Yes, yes, I know,
if
I
needed.
know. We need,
If
we
needed
need.
time, the carrying people with you does not mean you agree to every whims and fancy of everybody. You have to justify. You have to carrying people with me. You have to carry with for a right cause, not for a wrong cause. So like that, each point can be elaborated. But as the time our interview progress, we can talk about that.
Yes, actually, we have open suggestions or open offer to the audience. If any one of them are interested to know more about your style, about your thought process, about your leadership philosophy, then they can connect us, and we can have always further sessions on this. And this is really very, very fascinating thing that you said, the collective leadership. And it's really a new information to my knowledge, and I am thankful for that. Now, Khwaja Shahid Saab, you worked as civil servant, and you served as registrar, you served as vice chancellor, like so many versatile role you have taken. And you must have come across lots of challenges in those roles, or maybe your personal life must have lots of challenges. Will you please, if you don't mind, can you share the most challenging task that you have done so far in your professional or personal life, and you are proud of that?
See, there are many. There are many. Yeah, I feel very proud when I look back. But definitely, professionally, I will talk professionally. Of course, personal life is always full of challenges. Whether you bring up children, or you manage your family life, or other things. They are all full of challenges. Life is a challenge, and you have to meet challenges to see that you are successful in managing the situation. Situations sometimes are not in your control, but you have to manage it. That's the way you look at it. Now, the most important challenge which I find is a transition, is a change. It is a very important thing you have to manage. And one of such challenge came to me when I was serving as registrar of a university, of a Jamia Millia Islamia, and then the university was transformed from a deemed to be university, which was a private university in a way, to a central government university. And it happened in 1989. And it was the time when I, as a registrar, as head of the administration of the university, has to ensure that this change, the transfer is a smooth change. The most important challenge was to change the psyche of the people, the mind of the people working there, the team which I was working in, starting with the faculty, starting with the students, starting non-teaching staff. They all thought that we are a private organization and we can do whatever we can do with the approval, of course, with the approval of certain authorities here and there. But once you are a government institution, you have to follow in toto all the instructions, all the rules, all the guidelines of the government of India, who was funding us, and so on and so forth. And of course, the law under which the university is set up. Now, this transformation of change of mind was very important, was very crucial. I had to do a lot of counseling. I learned that I cannot just dictate things that because now I am a central university, now I am a registrar of a university of government of India, I can do this and that at the head of station. No, I did a lot of counseling. I spent more time with my colleagues on each case, on each file, to convince them, to talk to them, to argue with them, and to tell them what is the correct course of action. This is, of course, was a time-consuming process, very time-consuming process instead of issuing orders. But as a result, as a consequence of this process, I could carry a lot of team with me. And I can tell you, I can count on my fingertips and I can name the person. There was a leader of our association, the Jamia Administrative Staff Association. There are many leaders who were opposed to the administration at that point of time. And they were not accepting this transformation because when the new rules were coming, a lot of limitations were there on their functioning. And I negotiated with them, I had dialogues with them, and I can tell you with full authority and confidence, many of them, in fact, 90% of them, their tone was with me on many issues of developing university, changing the rules, bringing rules in accordance with Government of India rules, changing the academic calendars, changing the academic syllabus, and including the faculty, non-teaching staff. So all those I did a lot of counseling, and I could do because my better performance. I could convince them that if I can perform like this, I can perform like in this manner, you can also perform this manner. So your own performance, your counseling, your guidance, and of course, result oriented. I gave a result also. So this was a big challenge. Thanks to Almighty, thanks to all my colleagues, I did achieve a lot of success, satisfaction, and of course, success. So this is one of the biggest challenge of transforming university from a deemed university to a
Central University. Yes. Congratulations. Really, it is really a fantastic job, a great job that you have performed. And of course, you said that you need a team. And initially, the people who were against you, who were against this policy, turning the university from deemed to be the Central University, and then later on, they all became your favorites.
Yeah, they now appreciate. I can say one person who was a union leader of Jamia school teachers. I don't want to name him. He was opposing me tooth and nail in all the union activities. But then when he retired and I retired, he came to me and he told, I quote him, Shahid Saab, now I want you to come back to university and serve the university. आपका हाथ पकड़ के मैं वापस यूनिवर्सिटी में जाना चाहता हूं ताकि आप फिर वहां काम कर सकें और यूनिवर्सिटी की पढ़ाई कर सकें. I'm quoting him.
Great. So now, what is your philosophy of team building? You know, you were able to achieve this great milestone, like shifting from a deemed university to a central university. So what was your mantras of building the team? How you take the people along with you?
See, it's very crucial. Each member of the team has his or her own personality, and he and she should be identified on the basis of his or her own strength and weaknesses. Now, I have to exploit his or her strength. I have to ignore her weaknesses. So somebody may be good in memory, some may be good in rules, some may be good in a field work, some may be good in analytical work, some may be good in a policy planning work. So I have to identify each one of them according to his or her strength and make full use of that strength. I tell you one example. One gentleman who was a promoting officer, who was started his career as a class 4 employee, you can call them a peon or sahak, whatever you can call them, and he was promoted to a level of a section officer. But unfortunately, his academic qualification has not improved to that extent. So I use him in record room, where he could manage very well because of his field experience, because of his experience of 30-40 years, that he could manage the records very well. So I did not use him in a section on an office where it was more rule oriented, where more and more reading was required. So I identified his strength and used him, and he was very successful and very useful to me. I can mention many examples, not here in Jamia Millia Islamia. I can say from UPSC also. I can say from my Ministry of Industry also, and Ministry of Home Affairs also. So one of my assistant I worked with, he was again a promoting officer and not a direct report. And he was famous for being punctual. He was famous for not coming in time or not doing work on time. So I actually visited his home. Found out what is his problem, what are his issues, talked to him. We worked out a functional arrangement. He told me, sir, if you want to take work from me, you can take it with a lot of love and respect, not by ordering me. Because he was senior in age to me. I had just joined, and I was maybe on 31 or 31, and he must be in 50s. So he wanted respect. He wanted respect, I should give to him respect. And I tell you, he turned out to be such a loyal and competent assistant to me all through my stay in Ministry of Home Affairs. So, and I can put many of such persons. There was one lady who had a handicapped child, so she has to look after her child before coming to office. So we worked out, and she told me, sir, I can do any work you assign to me, but I will come late. I'll come late to my office because I have to feed my child, I have to give him medicine, and then I do a lot of morning course, etc., etc. Husband goes to office, then she looks after child, and then comes around office to around 11:30 or sometime. I agreed. We went to make it a working arrangement, and this is what the lady turned out to be one of my best assistant. One of my best assistant. I'm recalling her now, her services, and recalling that assistant, and recalling that gentleman from Jamia Islamia. So because I identified their strengths, identify their issues. So before building a team, one must identify each person's strengths and weaknesses, his potentialities, and see to that where he can be best used. And all of us should be coming to the main cause of the office management, or whatever you can call university management or UPSC management. So whatever causes are, we identified 1, 2, 3, 4. You can always identify in any organization. You can identify, but unless you cannot go into these, it is what now we call emotional quotients, EQ. And our time, these words were not in vogue. These words were not in vogue. This is only last 10 years I have been hearing EQ. But
now it is said that EQ is more important than IQ.
IQ now, and now social EQ. So social EQ is being talked about before more than emotional quotient. Social quotient is being talked about. But I practiced that about 30 years back, 35 years, 40 years back, and all these examples I'm telling you, they became my strongest support system in my team. All these 3, 4 cases I'm putting. I can put more cases, but for the paucity of time, I'm not saying. The point is, I'm trying to drive at that you have to build a team based upon the strengths and weaknesses of team. And if there is any need, you have to give them training. You have to upgrade their skills. You have to provide them opportunities, and also you have to tell them, I am also equally good or bad performer as you are. They should look forward. They should look forward towards you for guidance, because of your better knowledge, because of better skills, because of better your performance. Not because just you are my boss. So my performance is also very important. Why their performance is important? If I am not punctual, I cannot ask my staff to be punctual. I insisted for their punctuality because I was there on time. So this is how some of the things I can mention: your own performance, trusting in your team, identifying their weaknesses, strengths, go into emotional quotient part of it, and look after their welfare also.
Yes. So first of all, the leader has to go the way, then only the leader has to ask them to go to that way. This is important. Thank you very much, Khwaja Shahid Saab. It was nice talking to you, and you have given us lots of insights. But before I conclude this session, I would request you to kindly give your valuable advices to the fellow leaders.
See, I'm not in a position to advise anybody. Each one of you, each one of my listeners here, each one of my people who will watch me on YouTube, etc., are competent in their own way. But my only thing which I can share based on my experience is that we must trust in the people we are working with. And if there is any issue, then we must discuss it, talk to it, sort it out, and see to it that the difference of opinion, if there are any, are sorted out. If it still persists, the best part is that you part with that person, or you part yourself from that organization if you cannot sort out the different parts of your team. Otherwise, all of us will be working in different direction, and it will damage our general cause for which we all are working. So either part or work together. As they say, as the saying goes, swim or sing together. Swim or sing together. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Khwaja Shahid Sahab. And Ladies and gentlemen, let's thank Khwaja Shahid Sahab for giving his valuable contributions to the great nation, India. And we salute to his greatness, we salute to his services, and we pray to Almighty for his long life, for his further strengthening this
Thank you.
nation by his contributions. Thank you very much, sir, for being with us. God bless you always.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice of you. God bless all of you.